All right, sorry about that. Instagram kicked us off. We're going to try to get everyone back on. If you give us 1 second. All right, there we go, Evan. Sorry about that. I was trying to get you guys back in there. There we go. See, Johnny, you got Evan so upset about this Apple talk that Instagram kicked us off, man.
It's funny.
No, good. Johnny, thank you for that story. You know, the thing I wanted to ask you real quick before I let Evan go is, can you take us through, and again, if my memory serves me correctly, you scored the game-winning penalty kick to send you guys to the World Cup back in 2015, correct?
I'm pretty sure I was the guy right before, like, I made it, and then they missed completely. Like, they missed the goal completely, and then we won.
Right. So can you walk me through that moment as a 16, 17-year-old kid, knowing that it's on the line to go to the World Cup for USA, and, you know, it's kind of riding on you?
It's insane. I still remember that moment. You know, obviously so many emotions were into that, the whole tournament. And then it went down to the last game in qualifying against Jamaica, which is absolutely crazy. But, you know, me and a lot of the guys being down in Florida, having to leave our families for two and a half years at that age, all for that moment right there. And that's what it meant to go to the World Cup. It's pretty hard to put into words how good of a feeling that felt.
I still remember where I was when you scored that PK. I was in my living room, and if you felt half the nerves I felt, I can't imagine how you walked up there and struck that ball, man.
Yeah, no, yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
So, Johnny, how do you?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Johnny, like you lived in Florida for a couple of years, left your family, made a decision to go to Carolina instead of like staying closer to go to Akron or Ohio State or somewhere in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look back at all that and say that you're happy with the decision you made, or anything you would change? What are your feelings on it looking back now?
I would say I'm definitely really happy with it. Of course, if I would have stayed, obviously, like you said, closer somewhere with Akron or somewhere in the Midwest area to be close to home for my family and friends could come watch me every game. I do think about that a bit, honestly, but no, there's no regrets or anything because I loved my time with North Carolina and everything about it. It was definitely tough to leave the program and the school and the atmosphere, which was just awesome. It was definitely tough to leave, but no regrets. I wouldn't change anything.
That's good, man. Like, because right before we got cut off, I was gonna say, like, the way you got to becoming a pro and the way that I became a pro are completely different. And I think that there's so much value in the stories that that you have, that I have, that a lot of the guys that we have on this platform at Pro Mentor, because it's not just a one size fits all type thing. For me, like, when I was, you're talking about, going to U17 World Cup. When I was playing U17, I was just trying to win a state cup. And I was just excited about, going to, high school dances and playing on the basketball team in high school and stuff like that. I hadn't really considered even being a pro. So, we have a lot of different types of stories in terms of, whether that you want to be a pro when you're 14, 15 years old, or you're just trying to get to the next level of your travel team to club team to whatever the academy to college, whatever it is. I think that there's so much value that, having guys like yourself on this app are being able to offer to kids.
No, I agree. Like you said, you were thinking about going to school dances or worrying about that. Obviously, when we're in Florida, that's all the things that we sacrificed, which a lot of people don't understand. But no, I agree. There's so many different ways to be a pro. There's so many pathways. And even playing with FC Dallas, being in MLS these past 3 years, you learn so much, and just seeing everyone has a different route, which I think is so cool and to learn, especially guys from different countries. They have an interesting route as well.
Absolutely. And I think that what a lot of people that are probably watching this, maybe they don't understand, is that FC Dallas has probably been the model club for developing young talent, whether that's guys your age or even younger. I mean, they've sent so many guys to Europe, and just the development there, and probably the things you could tell, to the younger generation about what you've seen, just, being around that club for 3 years has probably been pretty cool.
No, it's so cool that they believe in their youth, that they want their youth to play. Obviously, you're good enough, you're old enough, and all that. I do believe it. So it really is a cool club to be a part of the sea, and it is nice to have a lot of guys my age or even younger, which is crazy. I think there's a good 10 guys younger than me, which I think is kind of insane. But all of them they have such good quality, very talented players. But no, that's what FC does. That's their model is, U12, U14, 16, right up the pipeline, which is, it's fun to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I'll jump back in and ask Johnny another question. Johnny, what are your career goals, and what do you think is the most important quality to reach those goals? Physical, mental, technical, tactical. What do you think? What do you value in your journey?
Mm-hmm. No, of course, my career goals, I would say, obviously, when I was younger, to be a pro, either if it was in the MLS or Europe, if that was a year in college or 4 years after college. But no, I think right now it's just to become a starter in the MLS. A starter day in and day out. That's definitely one of my big goals. And then obviously down the road, if I could play in Europe, I think that's always been a dream of mine. But you never know. I mean, like we said, there's so many different pathways to everything, and then hopefully that would lead to just getting a chance at the national team. It's definitely a big goal of mine. But I think honestly, learning and seeing day in and day out from being in a pro environment for 3 years, I would have to say mentally is one of the biggest. Of course, physically, tactically, you have to have it. You have to be physically fit, taking care of your body, sleeping well, all that. But no, mentally, especially when the times are tough, that's the real person you are, which I've learned. When things are going well, it's easy to have a good attitude and all that. But when you're not starting, you're not playing in training, how are you acting? So mentally, I would say that's a big one, which I think a lot of people, that's kind of their downfall, honestly. So mentally.
Yeah, I agree completely. And when we started developing the content for this app, it was largely around answers just like that. It's you see it every day. I've seen it for the last 13 years of my life as a pro, that if you have all the ability in the world, technical ability, physical ability, if you don't know how to harness that into the right way, then it doesn't matter. There's been so many good players that I've seen that couldn't sustain it. And then at the same time, there's a lot of guys that should never have made it to the level that they made it to, succeed and excel at that level because of their mental capabilities. And there's a lot of guys that I've seen, whether that's American domestic guys, international guys, across the board. There's so many good players in this world, and the ones that make it are the ones that can kind of put all those things together, and that all starts with what's going on in your head, for sure.
It's so true. Yeah. I agree.
I mean, when you guys talk about the mental side of stuff, how much of that is just the straight up sacrifice? Like Johnny, you mentioned earlier in the IG Live about, the sacrifice for those 2-3 years that you made. Maybe talk a little bit about, some of the things that you personally had to sacrifice that people probably don't understand, that are 15, 16, 17 years old, who have these ambitions of playing at the next level, but maybe don't understand that they have to do certain things and give up certain things to get to that point.
Right. And obviously even before that, the U15 level, obviously, when I was young, obviously like Evan, like an athlete like that, you make sacrifices, when your friends or whatever hanging out, you're in the gym, you're putting in the extra work. But to leave home at that young age, I think mentally was the toughest thing. Obviously, you got homesick a lot, of course, but mentally, your end goal, what do you want out of this? To play in a World Cup, get scouted, and that's going to help you down the line. So that mentally, the sacrifice, that's what kind of kept me going, honestly, because there were rough times in Florida when you missed home so much. But like I said, it's what you want in the end, and how bad you want it as well. And I mean, playing a U17 World Cup, that's the goal. I mean, that was awesome. So it was definitely worth it.
Very cool. Johnny, who was your favorite player to play with and then against that you've played so far in your career?
Play with, I think everyone knows who I'm going to say, probably Christian Pulisic. I mean, just being able to see him day in and day out when we were younger in training, it was pretty cool. Just something different about him, which is crazy. And then play against, I would have to say Carlos Vela. My rookie year in 2019, we went to LA, and we had to play against them, and that's when they were in their hot streak, and they were unreal. And I had to go up against the one-on-one. I thought I did really well against him, but no, I would say he's the best player I played against.
Gotcha. No, yeah, he's fantastic. Back to Christian, when you say different, when you were in regards to training, can you elaborate more on that? Like for simpletons, like what does that mean?
Honestly, it's tough to say because I know other people even agree with me. Like, because when we were really young, I even told my friends after that he's going to be big time. There's just a spark. There's just something when he gets the ball. He's just so quick. He's so fast. He's so smooth on it. And, his technical ability. So I guess I don't know if that makes sense, but you would have to just see it. But I would say that spark he had and still has, obviously.
Gotcha. And, speaking of him, I mean, I'm assuming you both watched the game on Sunday night against Mexico. What were your thoughts? Really young squad, go down twice, come back, PKs, adversity. What were your thoughts on that?
I honestly thought it was really awesome. Of course, it wasn't pretty by any means. I don't think anyone played that great. Obviously, a few like Horvath and I think Kellen Acosta played great. Christian was quite a bit, but I mean that's going to happen. Mexico, they're going to try and get him out of the game. But no, I was really happy. That was resilience and to go down twice like that, make an early mistake, a young squad to come back. I think that was awesome. And obviously Christian putting in top bins and then going switch the crowd. That was awesome.
No, Evan, you want to talk about the position that Ethan Horvath was in? Stefan gets hurt, goes down. He's got to come in. 10 minutes later, he's in a PK situation with the game on the line. What's that like as a goalkeeper?
It's different for sure. I've never been in the position where I've had to be subbed in as a goalkeeper off of the bench for an injury or anything like that. So I can't speak necessarily to that, but just the weight of the moment. He's still a young guy. He's 25 years old. He's not, I don't think, even the first choice guy at his club. So to know that he's coming into a situation where he's not playing every week, so he doesn't have a natural rhythm or necessarily a confidence to him at this point. To put all that together, it's pretty impressive. And not only the penalty save, I thought he was excellent in every phase of the game that he had to be part of. He made a great save right when he got in. The goal he conceded wasn't his fault at all. And then he just played really well, very confident. And you can tell, talking about that mindset and mentality that we were talking about a little bit, when they panned over to him warming up when Zach was on the ground, you could tell that in his eyes he wasn't fazed by it. He wasn't fazed that he was about to go into a final against the arch rival. He was just concerned with what his job was going to be and attacking that job and being successful doing that.
Yeah. Definitely really cool. Awesome game, awesome win. Definitely some momentum for you, I think. Johnny, while Evan tends to his child, I got a question from a listener. If you get a PK, you go a certain way. Are you kind of set in your way, or when you get up there, you kind of making a decision? Can you walk us through your mind?
I think as a player, you definitely need to have a certain spot that you go to. rep after rep, practice it, get it great. Get something that you're comfortable with. And obviously something that's not so obvious to the keeper. Obviously Evan can help out with that too. But no, I would say have a spot. Don't go up and pick a spot unless you're one of those players that walks up and watches the goalie. I'm not like that. So I have a spot that I like to go to, and of course have a backup, but something that you're comfortable with.
And Evan, I'll ask you kind of the flip side of it as a goalkeeper. Are you just dive into a side, you pick and you go, or are you trying to read the player, their hips, their steps? What's going through your mind?
I only give out that information once I'm done playing. No, obviously now with so much video and data and analytics, you have an idea of at least the top 2 or 3 shooters on each team, where they're going to go. Most guys go to the same area 70 to 80% of the time. So you have an idea of some of those guys. Other guys, you just look around MLS, guys like Joseph Martinez and some of these guys that are really good at penalties. They wait and they do kind of like that hop step into the penalty, and the goalkeeper really doesn't have a whole lot of a chance to react to it. If they go early, then the shooter goes the other side. So it's becoming more and more difficult, I feel, for the goalkeeper. There is one thing that I look for when the shooter puts the ball down. It's the way that they back up from the ball. And I'll leave it at that because it's something that I feel works really well. And like I said, I don't want to give away all the secrets yet.
No, that's totally fair. I respect that. Johnny, again, we're talking about a lot of mental things and edges and video and all these things. What does an app like Pro Mentor, like how important is that in helping develop youth soccer players? Like, again, talking about these little things with pros like you guys and giving them the tips and tricks and things like that. How do you think that can help kids in their development?
I think Pro Mentor, I think it's so unique. I don't think I've ever heard or seen anything like it. And to be able to talk one-on-one with someone you want, obviously for a good amount of time, and to be able to send in a video even, I think that's so cool. That's so unique. And obviously hearing that from pro and giving them tips mentally, I would have a lot more confidence after that. So yeah, I would say unique. It's so cool. And obviously be able to talk to a pro and someone that you want to be maybe one day. I think that's just awesome.
No doubt. And you speak about like the opportunity for the amateur player to upload video into the lesson and have the pro review it. We're doing a brand new update here that came out yesterday, and one of the new features that we added is now the pros actually will be able to draw on the screen, so we can turn it into like a chalk talk, an actual video session. So arrows, circles, what have you. And I think that's a whole other level of technical or tactical analysis. That the film and the lesson provides.
That's sweet. Yeah, that's awesome.
I think with your experiences with Will Turrets and how I feel about film. So I'm all about the film, and having you guys have the ability to watch that film with those guys and break it down is so important, because at the end of the day, it's really hard to tell someone, hey, you're doing this wrong, without them actually seeing it for themselves, like putting themselves on film and making that adjustment, whether it's a youth level or a college or pro level.
Right. I would just say one more thing about that, because obviously with teams, we go in and watch these videos. I don't know how they do it with Columbus, but we watch a lot of team video, which is good, of course. But sometimes we get individual, you got to ask, of course. But comparing individual video with your coach to the team, I mean, obviously it's just it's obviously so much better. It's individual. So that's the only thing I would add with obviously with Pro Mentor, being able to talk one-on-one directly, not beating around the bush, exactly what you need and what you need to do better. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'll give a quick little story about one of the first sessions that I did too, and it was with a goalkeeper that Dayon knows, Zach, and he uploaded a video, and it was a highlight video of his saves and actions and stuff like that. And you typically wouldn't find a whole lot wrong with a highlight video, right? That's why it's a highlight video. It's a highlight video. But I'm watching this, and there's a save that he made, and it was a good save. And I clip it and bring it up in our session that we're doing, and ask him, like, talk me through what you saw here. And for him, I think he's 17 years old, as a 17-year-old kid, he's like, yeah, this is one of my favorite saves I made. I thought it was great. I said, listen, I agree with you. I thought the technique of it was great and everything like that, but look where your starting position is in comparison with where your back line is and all that space in behind. And the action was it was a ball through the two center backs, I believe, and essentially turned into somewhat of a 1v1 situation where the goalkeeper pushed off and made a save and pushed it around the post. And like I said, it was a great save, but he saw it differently now that, if he was higher on the field, he probably didn't even have to make the save. He probably could have put himself into a better position to not have to make such a great save. So little things like that pros like you see, from a tactical standpoint and kind of implementing what the kids' coach is asking of them, but also getting a better understanding of how the position is played at a higher level, I think is invaluable for kids these days.
Mm-hmm. It's always easier to see on video and someone telling
Absolutely.
you, oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And again, I think the difference with players like yourselves at the professional level, you guys see the film way differently than mom or dad or the kid watching the video. And that's not no disrespect to anybody, but you guys you're able to process information differently and give them a whole different perspective on that film. And the perspective that you're going to provide is probably going to be 2 or 3 steps beyond what they're used to. And it's going to allow them to open some doors of things that they normally don't see within that film, even if they are watching themselves and starting to figure out what's right and what's wrong. And the quicker you can figure out that soccer IQ stuff, and again, that tactical analysis as you kind of climb the ladder in your club soccer career, the faster you're gonna be a better player. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, 100%.
Evan, before I ask Johnny an off-the-wall question, I'm going to try to throw him a curveball here. Anything you got for him?
Football related or just in general?
Whatever you got.
I'll have to ponder. You go ahead, and maybe I'll try to think of something.
Johnny, I was trying to think of something all day that you didn't see coming, and I want to see how you're going to react to it. You ready?
All right.
What is your favorite holiday food, and what holiday is it served on?
Favorite holiday food? I would have to go. Oh, that's tough. Oh, wow. I think it would have to be a nice little Thanksgiving little apple pie, little dessert. Actually.
So American of you.
So American. Yeah, I may or may not have too many slices every Thanksgiving, maybe like 6. But I love it. No, yeah, that's.
So is it homemade apple pie, or is it from the store?
Honestly, I don't even know, because obviously with the families, I just come for the food. I'm ready for that. I think it's from the store. I could be wrong, honestly, but it's great.
What about you, Evan?
I mean, I love pie. And I was actually thinking, as you're talking about apple pie, a place because you're from Medina, so I'm trying to think of the name of the apple farm in Brunswick Mapleside. Have you ever been to Mapleside in Brunswick?
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife's family's from Brunswick originally, and they live in Medina now, so I've been to Mapleside and had some of their pie. Sucker for though. Like Memorial Day, July 4th, I'm a sucker for that type of stuff.
The hot dogs and hamburgers?
Yeah, for sure. Some ribs.
You got your.
What about you? What's your favorite holiday? What's your favorite food?
Honestly, my family makes lamb every Easter, and it's still hot. It's like right off the spit. It's really, really good. That's probably my go-to, and that's honestly, when I'm thinking of some random question to think Johnny, that's what popped in my head. So I got to go with that.
You know what question he really wanted to ask you is what your favorite Disney movie is and Disney character, because he's a Disney buff.
This is true. That was my backup plan.
Disney. Oh.
He said everybody loves Disney, so.
Everyone has a Disney movie that they at least like one of them.
I think it would have to be Cars.
Wow.
Why? Wait, why? What's yours?
No, it's good. Cars. I mean, there's 3 of them.
That's a young man's answer.
I mean, I'm an old school Lion King guy.
Oh yeah, that's old school.
Old school.
That's funny.
What about
Oh,
you,
yeah. Cars for sure.
I'm an Aladdin guy.
It's a good movie. Good flick.
It is.
I didn't know you loved Disney.
I'm a big Disney guy, man. Dallas and I, yeah, we get after it at Disney World.
Dallas.
But here, let me get us back on topic. Again, like we mentioned, brand new update here at Pro Mentor that was launched yesterday. So a lot of new features within the app, like we talked about, the drawing on the video uploads, new schedule availability for the pros, and then obviously we're onboarding mentors every day. Like I mentioned last week in our first Instagram live video, we are now over 60 pros between the MLS, USL, and NWSL, which is pretty wild in a startup company like this, and how quickly people have gotten on board, no pun intended, in terms of wanting to be part of the app and work with our platform with kids. So things are going really well. We're really excited about that. Johnny, we appreciate your time. Anyone who wants to work with Johnny, he's available within the app as one of our mentors. We highly recommend him. He's a great ambassador for the game and someone that can give a wealth of knowledge and talk about all things soccer. Evan, appreciate it as always. Any closing comments for you before we shut it down for the night?
No, man, I thought you've covered it all. I would double down and say that, just hearing some of Johnny's story here, it's been pretty awesome to hear that and some of the experiences he's had. And a lot of the kids that we feel on the platform that would benefit the most from this are, the high school aged kids that, are striving to become what Johnny was doing at that same time. Youth national team, college scholarships, professional, all those things. So to hear his story, I think it's great. And then kind of understand what it took at that age for him to be at such a high level, and then, kind of turn that into where he is now with FC Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Johnny, anything from you before we sign off?
No, I agree with that. Of course, no. I appreciate you guys for having me. This was a lot of fun, and I'm excited the future with Pro Mentor and all this. But no, I'm really excited. Really excited.
Great. Well, we appreciate it again. I'm sure we'll have you on, in the near future. We'll do this again. We'll talk maybe a little more Browns-oriented stuff rather than, we'll get more into the Brown season once they kick off in September. But like I said, we appreciate you, bud. Wishing you the best of luck with FC Dallas this year, and we'll talk to you soon.
Of course. Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good night.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.